What's up, everybody? Back with day 6. That's sign language for 6, not 3. Day 6 of 90-day fitness transformation, where I'm trying to put on some muscle and change my body more towards the Greek proportion way of a physique. So today is workout of shoulders. So I'll be doing traps. I'll be doing some raises with the dumbbell and barbells, and I'm also going to do some deadlifts, and I think I might have some neck exercise also in there somewhere too, but I'm not sure. We'll see at the end, and I might just do a little bit of whatever I feel like towards the end. So I also did some measurements today. So I have a lot more experience in cutting fat than I do with putting on muscle. I've always just enjoyed having a leaner kind of physique, and wasn't ever really interested in just lifting weights just to get huge. I always just kind of liked being small and light and lean and having sort of like a functional strength. But I kind of wanted to explore new territory and put on some weight, so that's why I'm doing this challenge, so I can change my physique towards something that I've always imagined myself as, but never actually pursued consistently to get it. So, and once I put on the muscle, I can always cut down. That's easy. But in the past, when I've done the cutting, I usually take my measurements every Sunday. So that's how I have it in my head. Sunday's like measurement day. Sunday's like progress day. And so I did my measurements today. We'll go over them at the end of the video. And usually when I'm cutting, I don't take circumference measurements because I'm not too worried about losing muscle. I'm more worried about the fat loss part of it, so I would just measure for the fat loss. So I did my body fat today, not because I'm worried about losing fat, but just because I want to make sure that while I'm putting on muscle, or at least attempting to see what happens at the end of the 90 days, I want to make sure that I'm not like getting too fat. I want to make sure I'm in a surplus, but I also want to make sure I'm not getting unnecessarily fat at the same time. So I did check my body fat, and I did do my circumference measurements because I want to keep track of whether or not I'm actually gaining size. In addition to the mirror, we want to check the actual numbers and see what happens. So we'll probably do those like once every 2 weeks. I think that might even be a little bit too often for gaining muscle. I know that the process of gaining muscle is a lot slower than the process of losing fat. With losing fat, you can almost do it. I usually do it like twice a week. You can see results. Like if you're careful and you know what you're doing with measuring yourself, you can see results fairly quick, measurable results quickly. But with gaining muscle, it's a little bit different. I think it's a lot slower. So 2 weeks might be a little bit too often, but I don't know. We'll try it. Seems like a good round even number to every 2 weeks, twice a month, and we'll see what happens. If I need to adjust later, can always adjust later. So that's it. All right, let's get to the workout. Oh, are you wet? In case you haven't seen him already, this is my buddy Wally. His name's Walter, but we call him Wally, and he likes to work out with me. He likes to hang out while I'm lifting my weights. So I'm sure you'll be seeing more of him as time goes on, because he's quite attached to me. All right, let's. I know it looks funny what I'm doing with my shoulder and those things, but I have that shoulder injury from many years ago, and what I'm doing is just really trying to feel it out, because I just don't have the range of motion that I do in my left arm as I do in my right. And sometimes it just feels like, over the years I've compensated a lot for this weaker muscle using my back and my traps, and this muscle has just gotten so weak compared to my left side that it's just going to take some time. It's going to take some listening to my body, figuring it out kind of on the fly, and just taking one day at a time. But as long as I see some progress and I can move forward and increase reps or weights or whatever range of motion, that's also, I include that also. As long as I can keep making progress in some of those areas, then that's all I can do. So whatever, shit happens, right? The last few workouts I've been doing deadlifts. For the last few workouts where I'm doing deadlifts in them, I do them on my shoulder days. So today's shoulder day, that means I'm doing deadlifts, and it's frustrating. The last few times I've been deadlifting 45 pounds. I just call it by the weight that's on one side, because I don't feel like adding it up every single time. So whatever that is on one side, 45 pounds plus the bar, and it's frustrating, because that was a weight that when I was like in my 20s, I wouldn't even have bothered to warm up with that weight. It would have been like nothing. It would have been like picking up, grocery bags off the floor or something, like nothing, and that's what led to me snapping up my back. In 2015, I was at the gym, and in my 30s, I started taking time off from lifting too much, just being lazy, and like relationships, life gets in the way. And one day I went back to the gym. All right, let's get back in the swing of things. And I wasn't even going to deadlift. Someone left a barbell on the floor with 2 plates on it, 2 plates on each side. And that to me was kind of a light weight. You know, I've been repping, I think like 315, whatever, 3 plates plus some extra, some little ones on each side. So I saw the 2 plates on each side. I thought, oh, this is not that heavy. I can just pick it up and move it. And I snapped my back up. I mean, I almost had to call an ambulance to come take me out of the gym because I was stuck in the changing room, the locker room, and I couldn't even walk. Like, it took me an hour to walk out of the gym that day. And so, you know, doing this here with this 45 pounds on one side, and even that, I'm feeling it outside of the muscle. I'm feeling it like in the connective tissue, just that feeling you're not supposed to feel it. I don't think I'm like in danger of this weight, but it's just something that's telling me that the weight I'm doing is too much, and it's just frustrating. But you know, you just can't. Your body doesn't lie to you. You know, you can lie to yourself. I can lie to myself and say that I'm just going to keep doing it and keep putting the weight up. I had 50 pounds planned for today, and I picked it up a few times for shrugs, and it just doesn't feel right. So I'm just going to fucking back it down. I'm just going to back it down 35 pounds, and I'll just keep doing that. I'm frustrated right now, but you know, I'm just going to try and do the right thing. Back the weight down. I don't want to feel that in my back. I don't want to feel that feeling that's not supposed to be there, you know. Thankfully, I don't have that pain that was in my back from snapping it up, which lasted like 3 or 4 years. I just had that like little knot, you know, right where it happened. I really don't have that anymore, but I don't want it to come back, and I don't want to put myself in danger again. So that's it. Just got to keep moving forward, right? Safely. Last one. That's about it. I think everything went pretty well, aside from the deadlifts, which aggravated me because it's such a lightweight that, probably a 14-year-old, girl who's never trained before could probably pick that weight up off the floor easier than I feel like it is for me. But you know what? That's part of it. It's like never 100% awesome. It's never 100% fun. It's never 100% enjoyable. But just got to deal with that irritating stuff that goes along with it. So, all right. I think in the next part I'm going to be talking about my measurements and check out my body fat and see about measurements in general. So I'll see you there. All right, so time to talk a little bit about measurements and what the goals are for the measurements. As I mentioned before, I'm going for more of the Grecian, I don't even know what the right word is, the Grecian physique, what they call like the Greek god physique, something close to that. They have calculators where you can put in different parts of your body and it will tell you what your calculations are based on your different. I think one of them I used was you put in your wrist circumference and then it'll calculate for you. I think another one was maybe your height. I don't remember, but I'll be doing two things over the course of this 90 days. I'll be going for the size and the proportions, which will be a result of gaining the size. And also I'll be checking my body fat to make sure I don't get too fat. So I did my measurements today. I did my body fat and I did all my measurements. And so my body fat is, actually I didn't even do my body fat. God damn it. Well, okay, so my circumference measurements, 15 and a quarter for neck, 47 for shoulders, 41 for chest, 12 and 7/8 for arms, 11 and a half for forearms, 34 and a half for waist, 38 and 3/8 for hip, 21 inch for thighs, and 15 inches for calves. I'm 5'8". I'm about 167.8 pounds. And I've got my goal numbers here too. So for neck goal is 16. That's about 3/4 of an inch I've got to put on. Shoulders is 49, so I got to add 2 inches to my shoulders. Chest is 43. I got to add 2 inches to my chest. Arms is 15.5, so I got to add a little over 2.5 inches to my arms. That's the biggest lagging, I think, relative to everything else. Forearm, I have to add, goal is 12.5, so I have to add an inch to my forearm. Waist, I got to drop off the waist, but that's cutting fat. That's not adding. So my goal waist would be about 30 inches, which is just take off about 4 inches, which is, I would say, roughly between like 15 and 20 pounds. That's not a big deal. You can do that in less than 6 months. Hip, there wasn't a hip calculation for the hip. And then for thigh, the goal is 22 3/4. That means I have to put on about 1 3/4 for thigh. And then calves, did I forget calves? I think I didn't write calves because I think I was at the goal. I think the goal for calves was 15. But I'll double check that. But yeah, you can see I've got some work to do. It's probably going to take a few years to get. I'm definitely not going to reach all of these in 90 days, that's for sure. But I wanted to see the progress I would make in 90 days. And some good progress can be made in 90 days. And as I also mentioned, I've been doing this for a little over a month already before I started this. So the 90 days will really be more like 120. It'll be more closer to 4 months than 3 months. But, I think I was so out of shape when I started that the first month really kind of didn't even count. I feel like I'm just in the last couple of weeks getting into the flow of things, where I'm starting to feel more comfortable in making progress every time I work out. So yeah, let's see what the body fat is real quick. I guess if anybody ever starts watching these videos, I can take the time to edit this stuff out, but since nobody's watching these videos, it doesn't really matter. I am 37 years old. My weight is 167.8. My pectoral fold is 12. Abdominal fold is 32. Oh man, that's rough. My thigh is 14. And calculate. Dang, I'm 18% body fat. Wow. Estimated lean body mass. Oh, that hurts. All right, so according to this body fat calculator, I am 18.2% body fat. That sucks. All right, let's write that down. .2. Shit. 137.2. Okay. Well, that's it for the measurement part of the video today. Hopefully I don't get too much more fat than that. Jesus, 18, that's a lot. Especially for someone my height. I'm only 5'8", so I'm going to try not to get too much more fat in the future. Just also keep track of my calories and my Fitness Pal. So every day, most days, I keep track of what I eat. Sometimes I don't, not always perfect with it because I don't really need to, because I often eat the same foods over and over again. So I know if I'm in the general area of where I need to be for calories, but yeah. Okay, well, that's where I'm at. So I don't know where I would have been at if I started measuring a month ago. But, you know, I can't know that now. So what I have is the information I have right now, and that's what I have going forward to refer back to. So, yeah, so we'll see what happens. I think I'll probably do another measurement in 2 weeks, another body fat and another circumference measurements in about 2 weeks and see what happens. All right. Oh, and if you're curious, I'm eating, I think, roughly about 2,400 or 2,500 calories right now. So that's it. All right. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you next time.